Basically, I've spent all my life working in foreign exchange. I'm a trained IAS officer, so I'm better to all the future and DGs. I wrote the IAS exam for my Ahmedabad. I've gone classes. You guys have classes and do whatever you can still do these days. I've gone classes and I wrote the IAS main from Ahmedabad. कोई सरकारी स्कूल मेरा क्षेत्र पढ़ाता हूँ वहाँ जाके सीधी चेयर पर बैठ के मैं इकोनॉमिक्स ऑफिसर लेके एग्जाम लिखा था. I qualified for the revenue service. I didn't join because I was beginning to put on weight and my surname was Gupta. I said income tax officer Ashesh Gupta. तो लगेगा कि ना दोनों हाथ से पैसा. So basically I started working in Indian Bank in '92 as a trainee, and seeing me, my parents, they said, here is a guy who should be in trading. You know, I mean, he can only be good at that. So, but I was not in trading. I was in sales, but I was in foreign exchange derivatives and interest rate derivatives from '93 January. You know, so I'm as old as I look. Okay, so from '93 January till 2007 May. And you guys are all pretty good at maths. You know, once in India I asked, how many here are engineers? And I just fell back because everybody has raised their hand. So I thought that please some of you are raising both the hands. They realized in India it's smart to ask how many are not engineers. Then very reluctantly, one timid guy from the end of the class put up his hand like this, you know, me, don't kill me for that. I admit I'm a mistake in the admission process. So anyway, you guys are very good at maths, so you can calculate how many years that is. 93 January to 2007 May. I've just done FX and derivatives. And I was here for a year and a half, obviously trying to destroy a few careers. And then something very interesting happened. I basically started doing my own consulting. And my dad is a retired professor. Nobody in my family has done their own work. So if you have the text of my speech, don't give it away by reading it out just now, if you don't mind. Okay? I appreciate your cooperation. Thank you. So from 2008 mid onwards, I have been now trying to destroy some companies' balance sheets and financial statements. I wanted to go bigger things in life. So I'm basically trying to advise some large companies, including 3 very large PSUs, on how to hedge their foreign balances, which is the topic of today's session. So my work is basically twofold. One is to try and predict what will happen in foreign currency markets and interest rate markets. Now you guys are all smart guys, yeah. You know, you read the efficient market theory and all these things. You know it's not possible. You know, which is why I'm doing it. You know, if I make a mistake, it's admitted. Okay, you know, nobody can get it right all the time. But anyway, let me stop the trend humor. What I try and do is to use my knowledge of economics, whatever knowledge I have, nothing compared to school, of course, but my graduate level of economics and my, I have a certain interest in technical analysis, which I'm sure a lot of you will know about, specifically Elliott wave analysis. I try to use these two things to try and predict where currencies which are of relevance to my clients, which could be dollar rupee, euro dollar, pound sterling, yen, Swiss franc. There are some very interesting currencies in the world. South African rand. One of my clients has a huge exposure in South African rand. So wherever my client has exposure, I will try and analyze that market and try and predict. Now prediction is not for a trading purpose. ना कि वो आए लाला जी सुबह गति पे बैठ गए, आज का भाव लग रहा है, चलो खरीद लेते हैं, शाम को बेच देंगे, पैसा लेके भर जाएंगे, रास्ते में चावल आटा खरीद लेंगे. Not that kind of stuff. This is like, you know, client has a 5-year loan or a 10-year loan to decide. For example, I'll give you a brief. This is just one example of what is the kind of work I do for example, a PSU. One of my clients drew down a $500 million foreign currency debt very, very recently. Now, 500 million is, you know, about 2,250 crore rupees. You know, guys, these days, you know, India is अच्छा कर रहा है ना, 2,000 crore में ही कह रहे हैं, you know. But that is 100 rupee notes, and you make a very high stack of notes. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's what I'm saying. 2,250 crores is a lot of money. So my input to the company was, once they have contracted their debt, they have a window of about a month, 2 months, depending on the negotiation of the company, about when exactly they will bring the money into India and sell the dollar and get rupees. So we need almost 500 million rupees. If you can get a rate of even say 50 paisa better or 1 rupee better, by trying to analyze and anticipate when the dollar rupee rate would be higher, right? The company would benefit. Is everybody with me? Yeah. Actually, I'm not with you. I don't think that's such a good idea. So why don't we start the class with this example? Okay, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to be as tough as I used to when I was here. I'm not going to just stand here and pontificate here. Honestly, when you work 17 years in the market, you can stand in front of any crowd. And when none of the other people in the crowd are work, you can sound like a big guy, you know, you throw a lot of jargon, you know, so but that's of no help to you, no help at all. So if I can get your the wheels of your mind working, you know, then I will do as a class, but I don't know what you guys. So I'll tell you a secret which I used to often share with my students earlier. In my opinion, the easiest way to get to an answer is to, now this is not very obvious, but I don't know how many of us do it, is to put ourselves in the shoes of the decision maker in the imaginary situation, in this case, the real situation. So if each one of you could for a minute think of yourself as the CFO of this company, and I'll tell you the name of the company because this is public knowledge. I'll tell you the name of the company after you've done the exercise. Okay, so now we have taken a $500 million loan. Okay, each one of you is the CFO of this company. Director of finance actually. It's a dollar loan. Okay. That's 500 million. Everybody knows what this is? $6 months. LIBOR perhaps? यार बोलो ना यार ऐसे क्या यार? Don't wait for me to tell this to you now यार. Okay, this is from LIBOR plus say 170 basis points and that's it. Repayment is 5 years. Good. What does that mean? No amortization. जिस दिन drawdown करेगी उसी होगा उसके exactly 5 साल के बाद पूरा पैसा डॉलर्स में वापस करना है ओवरसीज लेंडर में. ठीक है? Anybody here struggle with Hindi? It is okay with Hindi because I keep slipping into Hindi as I am speaking. So that's it. That's all. 6 months LIBOR. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. 6 months LIBOR. For those of you who don't know what is 6 months LIBOR, it is the US interest rate on US dollar denominated borrowing. If you take the loan from outside the US, and it's a term loan, if you take a term loan from a bank, but you are located outside the US, then typically the dollar loan will be denominated in terms of, the interest rate will be in terms of 6 months LIBOR. LIBOR stands for London Interbank Offered Rate. But we don't have to worry about that. I'm not here to take a class on interest rates. I want you guys to start thinking. Okay? And this is good for Punet. I think the answer is very obvious. If you are the CFO and you have got this loan, आपने ये loan agree कर लिया है, ठीक है? अब क्या करना है? अब तो सिर्फ ये loan तो आया ही आया है. Now you have to decide when to. You have a window of 6 months that you will draw it down. But whatever day you draw it down, 5 years from that day, you have to repay the loan in dollars. What is it that you will be trying to do with this loan? How will you try and time the drawdown? Once you've done the drawdown, you know, what was my example? I was saying that suppose the ROP is right now 40, let's say 45, and I'm able to convince my client, the DF of my client, the director of finance of my company, sir, within 30 days, from 45 will go to 46. That's great, because then if my analysis is right and he waits for 1 month and the ROP is gone to 46. Then on the $500 million loan, if he brings it at that time, he will get 1 rupee more for each dollar. He will get 500 million rupees more for the same amount of dollars. This is 50 crores. Well, he may not get a bonus from the PSU, but he definitely feel good about himself. And I've earned the company 50 crore rupees for nothing. The dollar amount is the loan in dollars, the loan amount remains exactly the same. But is that it? Is that the only thing you will think about when you think about timing of the inward for the $500 million. Has everybody got the question, please? Let's have some thoughts. हाँ सर, वो आप बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हैं। अभी एक काम करते हैं। What's your name, sir? Hitesh. It rhymes with my name. This is why I'm such a great guy, of course. He's saying that 1 month later, LIBOR could be higher. And in fact, right now, that's a real worry factor. I'm not sure that your curriculum requires you to be off phase with what's happening in the US monetary policy and all that. But just the last 2 months, probability of US interest rates going up has gone up very sharply. Okay? But I don't want to go there into that. If you're going down the road here, I'll get tempted. It's attractive. It's very अच्छी लग रही है. You want to stop it because we go inside any of these, and there's a huge, there's a huge township right there also. So let's stick to the main road for the time being. So he's right. 1 month later, LIBOR could be much higher. It should mean the company may have gained on the conversion of dollar to rupee, but the company would lose on a higher LIBOR. I'm giving you some simplified and saying the director of finance stands completely convinced, and quite rightly so at this stage actually. एक तरह का LIBOR के नीचे है. Okay, so remove that from your analysis. Shall I give you a hint, guys? See, when I say guys, it means everybody, okay? It's not a gender specific term. I don't like this, gender specific, but I'm just everywhere, especially now, American books are finding the standard reference is to she. Instead of he, it will be she. So if you're using one gender, let's say, like you open a site, you say